really is about water, and there have been a few questions on the chat as well about testing of water and what that means, and the things like E. coli contamination and so on. So off to the next speaker, and he's got just a few minutes. I'm afraid I'm going to have to shorten, and if you can summarize or be as brief as possible. It's really he's from the Water Supply and Drainage Board, and that's Mr. Saravanan, and he will be talking about the role and responsibilities of the Water Supply Board. He is a chartered chemist with a master's degree in environmental science, and he is based at the Government Regional Office of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board in Vavuniya. And he has served on several disasters committees. So, for example, with the tsunami and the flood relief and IDB and resettlement activities. And he has several publications as well. Thank you, Mr. Saravanan. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Renika Madam. Thank you for your kind words. Actually, already the GAM Minister explains a lot of things about the water analysis and the parameters. Here I would like to discuss only about the facilities in the north, because the time limitation is there. So, sorry. Actually, the urban development and water pollution is have some good urban development and pollution is having a good correlation. Actually, the urban areas have the high potential to pollute water in many ways. Actually, we are always ignoring the proper water supply facilities and sewage disposal facilities in the urban planning time. Planning time we are ignoring, and after that we are struggling with these arrangements. And the groundwater, actually in the Jaffna city already developed some in tremendous level after the war, and many buildings, malls, everything comes here, and lot of actually in the filling station, lot of filling stations are constructed in urban areas and surroundings, and but they don't have proper facilities to protect the spillage. So still the risk is there for the groundwater contamination, like that the toxin wastage from the color laboratories. So many color laboratories are established within a few years, but we don't have any proper disposal system in the north part. No any storage wastewater disposal system in the our part. But these people are using high toxic color dyes. Those having high concentration of heavy metals, everybody knows that. But still we don't have any facilities. Those are operating those things, and garbage dumping, sewage dumpings, lot of things are there, but we don't have any proper disposal system for this. But we are always concentrating the infrastructure, buildings and structural developments, like that the hotels and malls are already established in our area. They are also using our groundwater in a huge level and huge level. Okay, the safe water. The safe water means water that will not harm to you if come in contact with it. It is a drinking water or any bathing water, anything. But in Jaffna, only we have 3% of pipe-borne water supply coverage. In northern province, only 10% coverage. Only Mannar having around 30% pipe-borne water supply coverage. The Jaffna Peninsula getting 3% coverage, the same groundwater which were contaminated with several contaminants. But we don't have any alternative sources. That's why we are giving those water to the public in the SCAD area. To be the safe, the water must sufficiently low concentration of harmful contamination. But in Jaffna, normally our water having high concentration of calcium due to this Miocene limestone and high seawater intrusions. There are high upcownings there because of over extraction. Due to the overpopulation, we are extracting more water. We are only depending with the groundwater. That's why we are extracting more water from the ground. Water sectors, actually in the north, water supply and drainage board is functioning, water resource board there, local authorities, they are also doing some water supply in limited levels. In only the municipal council doing the pipe-borne supply, others are mostly doing the Bowser supplies, and irrigation department. They are the main groundwater consumers in our north part, especially in Jaffna. They are consuming more than 80% of our groundwater for the irrigations. Not only the irrigation department, agriculture people, but they are linked with that. And laboratories, water board having two laboratories in north. One is in Jaffna and one is in Vavonia, both are accredited. And water resource board having one laboratory in Jaffna, and CE having one laboratory facilities in Kilinochchi, and local authority, I think the provincial laboratory in Jaffna, I don't know about their functional levels, and health sector also having one laboratory in Vavonia district. They are using those facilities for their screening purposes. Role of chemists, actually our laboratories are established for our internal activities, not for the other activities. We are only doing our internal routine analysis, verification analysis, and monitoring analysis, and only those activities. In addition to that, we are designing the treatment process. We are designing the treatment process, everything. Our social responsibilities very less, because we don't have time for that, and we are very limited provision for financial provisions. But in some special cases, under the Board Act number 2, 1974, clause number 17F, we can involve some research activities in a limited level. Based on within this act, we already did several researches actually, especially the Chunnam oil case. We published two research books, and based on that, the Supreme Court already punished that polluter under Environmental Polluter Pay Act. The methodologies, actually, in the water board laboratories, we are only using international and standard methodologies, especially international standard. We are using the same book, standard methods for the examination of wastewater and wastewater. Always we are using the latest edition for this one. If you are going for the small changes in the methodology, we are always doing the verification validation. Sometimes we are reducing the sample volume for some financial or economical way. So that time we are doing the proper verification validation, and frequently we are attending proficiency test, intra laboratory comparisons, and continuously we are performing the Q&A QC for accurate and precision results. These are the available facilities in the north. Actually, we have almost all the parameters we can analyze in the almost basic parameters in the water. We have the parameters and the methodologies are there, and wastewater also we are analyzing in Jaffna Regional Laboratory, oxygen, chemical oxygen, COD, BOD, TSS, total solids, nitrogen, E. coli, oil and grease. Also we are performing there. And we have AS facilities in Jaffna. These 8 metal scan analysis there. In addition to this, sodium and potassium also we can measure with emission test. And the water sector now, in the newly we are facing some issues with the algae in our water treatment. That's why we establish algal analysis also in our laboratory in Vavonia. We can analyze population of algae and species identification, and algal toxin also we are measuring with a ELISA reader, with the support of ELISA reader. This is the new challenge for the water sector, the algal pollution. Sri Lankan standard, actually, internally we are giving interpretations and opinion for our researchers, but externally we are not giving any interpretation, or external means private customers. We are doing so many tests. We are doing so many testing for private customers based on their on request, and then they have to pay for that also. But they are not giving any opinion or interpretation of the results. Only the special cases only we are giving interpretation of the results. But we are giving these SLS standard values. They can compare their readings, or the authority people can check their results and compare with, and they can take the decisions. Only the thing is this SLS not yet gazetted. So based on this, we can't take any legal action or anything because this is just a guidance for us. And the same time, this SLS standard giving guidance for the testing frequencies, sampling patterns, everything. But we are try to gazette this one, but not yet gazetted. And wastewater quality, we are comparing with CEA standard. The CEA, there are several CEA standards: inland discharge, inland irrigation, marine coastal discharge. So many things are there, but these are not included. These RO discharge water standards. These are some new topics in northern region, the RO discharging. I think you can go through this. I can share this presentation with you all. Then you can check these values and everything. I don't need to explain one by one. Enforcement of regulation. Actually, this is the challenge for our north. Groundwater pollution. I think in the chat also, all the people are discussing about the pollution. Actually, we don't. These SLS standards are not a regulation. That is just a guidance. So we can't do any legal action against the polluter based on this SLS standards. So we have to go for CEA standard or something, CEA Act or something. So this pollution is still the polluters are doing the same thing to the groundwater. Actually, the agrochemical people, agricultural people are doing using massive scale agrochemical applications, and these service station people are contaminating with oil residuals, and these are still going on, but no any because no any regulations they have to control the people because actually the groundwater under water resource board, not under water board. We are using that water, but we don't have any authority to control the people. But water resource board having some certain powers authorities, but they are also they also don't have proper facilities to control because very limited staff working here. So many issues are there, but so that the pollution level still very high in Jaffna Peninsula, especially in the urban area. We did a research study with the support of ADP6. We observed more than 80% of the well having high concentration or high concentration of E. coli pollution, high number of E. coli contamination. But we just published that report, but we can't take any action against the people because no any alternative solution for sewage system for the people. So these are, and the tubal construction in massive scale, the people are doing tubal construction in Jaffna Peninsula because they don't have any alternative sources, water sources. So they are fully and fully depending with the groundwater sources. So the duct well construction is very expensive. These tubal construction, the tubal contractors are giving offers also. If you drill two tubers, then the third one is free of charge. That type of activities are going on. The GA and other people are trying to control it, but no any proper regulations there, no any bylaws there. So the problem is continuing. This is not only damaging the groundwater, but this is damaging the Miocene limestone plates also. So it may cause some disaster to the peninsula. And wastewater disposals, actually, there are some regulation under CEA Act, but thing is normally the teaching hospital and other hospitals don't have proper sewage treatment facilities, and the big hotels don't have proper sewage facilities. So that this type of institution doing without any controls, but CE also can't do anything against them because there are some professional and political partialities are there that they can't control them. So the disposals are going in. Pollution level is very high because of this improper disposal of wastewater and over extraction of groundwater. Over extraction of groundwater also very high in the northern province, and especially in Jaffna because we have very limited groundwater sources. but for the agriculture practices and the industrial purposes, they are extracting without any limitation because the people are thinking that if they have any well, that is their own property. So they can do anything with that. So no controls there, no any laws there. So the oil extraction is going on. So the seawater intrusion already started. So many areas already polluted by saltwater contamination. And the new apartments and malls without any proper sewage and water facilities, they already started this construction. Already the new hotels came there, new malls came there. Even Kargil Food City also constructed a big mall there, but they don't have any proper sewage or water facilities. They are also using the same groundwater for their India purposes. They are putting the RO water and they are discharging RO discharge water near to the drainage, and they are actually that also kind of waste and making some different type of disaster to the groundwater. And new issue for the Sri Lanka is the RO water. Actually, in the Sri Lanka, this is a new tradition also. All the people are in the for the higher professional people are installing RO plants in their houses, and local RO water shops also there, water sheds like the water sheds. They are selling 2 rupees, 3 rupees for 1 liter. Actually, the people don't have enough knowledge about the RO operations. So that is also very danger because they are not installing remineralization unit in their RO plants, or they are not blending with. So normally the RO water are very low mineral water and low pH water. For the continuous consumption, definitely it will cause some health issue to the people, but the people don't know about these things. The bottled water business also same. There are some regulations, SLS standards also there, but they are just sending the water through the ROs and packing and selling to the market. In Jaffna, I observed more than 56 brand of water bottles there. I just observed 56. I think more than that available. Only few are SLS standard. One got the SLS standard. Others are got only the MOH approval or something, Health Ministry approval or something. But the Health Ministry approvals are not much reliable because they don't have enough facility to analyze all the parameters and regularize all the things. So that's why we are always expecting SLS standard for this one. And at the same time, SLS standard got business people also packing the water in under our area and Vaunia area. So that water quality also questionable, but no any regulation to control these people because this one, the last one is the indication, the authorization responsibility. I already saw so several institutions are involving in water sector activities. But few are doing, few have some responsibility, few have some authorities. The responsibility, responsibility people don't have enough authority, but authority people don't have enough technical knowledge and facilities. This is the lacking in our water sector. So many institution, lack of coordination, lack of collaborations. So very difficult to control all these issues in the north, not only north in Sri Lanka. And the political and professional impartiality is also there. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, actually, for that talk. I think you opened our eyes for a lot of things, and personally for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people in the audience, because we don't, there's a lot of the detail. I didn't realize the SLS standards have not been gazetted. I'm just
yes,
wondering,
very limited time, so I can't explain it.
as to why that hasn't been done. So we quickly moved on.